my very special guest is Bruce Wade, better known as the Batman for business. Bruce's superpowers include big picture thinking, strategy development, and using a collection of models and techniques to create profitable solutions for businesses. After about 15 years in the dot-com corporate environment, he started his own business, and he's passionate about coaching, speaking, and facilitating, all which are wonderful things he does. And he does these online mastermind groups, and absolutely wonderful. And he's a director at EM Solutions. He's a Circle of Excellence Gold member, a member of PSA SA, the Professional Speakers Association of Southern Africa. He's an accomplished Toastmaster, and he's a committee member at the Cape Chamber of Commerce. So, Bruce, thank you for joining me on Imagineering. And
Good, thank you.
yeah, like I said, I don't have a set of questions that I can just ramble off and ask you. This is just a conversation we're going to have about innovation and really what it's all about. And I think that's the perfect place to start. What does innovation mean to you?
Well, it's unfortunately, it's one of those words that have been thrown around and got to the marketing people. So everything now is innovative or innovation and it's because that's what's required. People are thinking that to be competitive, I need to be innovative. So if you look at all the banking adverts and the insurance company adverts and the motor car adverts, everyone throws in the word innovation. But really what it means, it's just thinking of new solutions based on the new rules of engagement. That's really what it is. So it could be using the old to make up the new, or it could be inventing new stuff from scratch. Whatever it is, it's just keeping up with the times. And that term is called innovation. And I think that's probably a safe middle of the road bet. It's not an academic definition, but it's what we see with that, is that really the opposite of innovation is trying to do tomorrow with yesterday's thinking, which is wrong.
I love that. That's a nice phrase. Trying to deal
Mm,
with tomorrow with yesterday's thinking. Yeah, wow.
yeah.
That's amazing.
Mm,
Yeah. I read your article on LinkedIn about, taking sales. Why companies are performing poorly is at the root of it is sales. They're not driving sales. But at EM Solutions, you have found a different way to put it, and it's about taking sales out of the equation by not removing sales, but removing the the associated connotation or whatever it means with the word sales.
yes. So what we've done, we coach people, and we've got a whole lot of models and stuff. So our latest model kind of looks like that. It's a wheel diagram, and it's got 10 different aspects of that. And really what we do is we take people on 3 circumferences around that wheel to grow a business. And nowhere in that wheel does the word sales appear. And what we've done is that because a lot of entrepreneurs, a lot of small businesses have this big issue with sales. It's like this big thing that hits them in the face is they'd rather be inventing, they'd rather be creating, and they'd rather be counting the money, but then they have this block in the middle like, oh, flip, I need to go and sell, and I can't, therefore I don't. So what we've done is we've looked at the actual sales thing. Now, there's a whole lot of sales coaches, there's a whole lot of sales people and sales experts, and that's great because we still need them in the high sales commodity goods, and we still need them as certain reps and stuff. So sales does have a place in the world, but just not in our world. We don't engage with people who have to sell, but they still think that there's that selling element. So what we do is we then look at that stuff. So we've turned that into, so just 3 of those spokes is we say, what are the problems that you're solving? What are the people that you're serving? And what then are the products that you're supplying? And that then creates a formula for that. So there's 3 different elements. You've got a problem, you've got people, and you've got products. And you are then, let's just get this right then, is that You are solving, serving, and supplying, never selling.
Never selling. I think because selling also, the connotation of it is, or the idea that gets conjured up quite frequently when we talk about sales is that the second heart sleazy salesman that tries to sell you something that you don't really want and is very
Exactly.
pushy. And I think that's wrong, because I have come to appreciate running my own business as well and being a speaker and all kinds of things. I have learned that all the days is true that everybody is in sales, whether it's trying to
Mm-hmm.
sell an idea or a concept or whatever it may be. But also it's about fitting the right product to the right people.
Yeah.
It's a lot to do with that.
Mm.
But we still have this old way of thinking of sales as being dodgy or sleazy, and I think that's so wrong. And I do think that if we can we can just remove the connotation associated with sales,
Yeah.
and rephrase it and redo it and rework it with with still solving the problem.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I don't think we need to push technology or push products anymore. We need to create a market that is a pull market. So, and that you can only do by understanding what the problems are of the individual. So I can't come and force you to buy ice cream in a snowstorm, but it's very easy to sell you ice cream in a hot day, in the middle of summer. It's as easy as that. So don't go sell ice cream in winter. Go sell the right products at the right time to the right people, and it becomes easy because then people are queuing up for ice cream and your products and your services because you've hit that market right. And if it's winter outside, we'll stop selling ice cream and sell soup. It's as easy as that. Re-gear for the times and the seasons, and your product will grow and your company will earn more money. It's really as basically as that. The problem is that we sit there and they always blame, oh, it's cash flow, it's cash flow. No, it's sales, it's sales. No, it's marketing, marketing. It's nonsense. Your whole strategy is wrong. And you need to be innovative. Go back and throw out your business plan, even if you don't have one, and start afresh. And we do a one-page business plan with a strategy with 10 points on it. And that's as simple as that. And if you can't get your company working from that, well, then it shouldn't be a company.
That's true. And just going back to your three prongs, that was can you just remind me again? The three.
It's the problem, the people, and the product.
Yeah, the problem, the people, the product. That sort of reminds me of the four P's to creativity, which is the person,
Mm,
the product, the press, and the process. The press meaning the
mm-hmm.
environment, the process, the end result, and the people that involved. And I think at the end of it, we can't take people out of the equation. Uh, and I think now that what's part of the problem is people have started this blame game, why we're not
Mm,
doing well. It's the economy, it's my team, it's my
yeah.
employees, it's somebody else, somewhere else, somehow else.
Yeah, and it's so much easier to sit and blame than to take responsibility and actually think. So one of the models we teach to people is a simple innovation model. And again, we've broken that down really simply, and we've actually got a masterclass on it available. And it's a simple rhyme. We kind of, this is innovation. We've got a big scientific formula that we've worked out really well, and from that then we can play because we know we're working off a solid base. So we take people through a simple step. We ask them, what is, what wow, what if, what now, why yes, what no, how now. And that's a little rhyme that we teach people. And it's an innovation model that we use in corporates, in small companies, at home, and it's a simple thing. So whether you writing a keynote speech to be creative or you innovating a whole corporate, that formula works. And there's psychological processes in there. There's good project management tools in there and those sort of things. So life doesn't have to be complicated. It can be reduced down to principles, and if you can make a song out of it, even better. And it's easy to remember. So I don't know why the world makes things too complex. A lot of academics get involved, and they've got to have all this, oh no, you've got to have a 300-page thesis and all this sort of nonsense and stuff. Actually, running your business just needs to be watered down to a handful of items that you've got to do on a regular basis. Keep that focused and keep your energy. Don't get lost. Don't put your head in the sand or get lost in the fog, and just keep at it.
I really do agree that simplicity at the end of the day is better than uh, fancifulness for the sake of fancifulness. There's
Yeah.
absolutely, there's a lot of, I think it was Einstein that said that if you can't explain it in 5 minutes, you can't explain it, or something like that. Or
Yep.
if you can't explain
Yeah.
it to a 5-year-old, then you don't know it yourself, or something like that. At the end of the
And
day,
Steve Jobs used to say, if you can't put it in a tweet, it's not a product. And that's absolutely perfect. So, yeah.
but that means that you need to have spent so much time thinking and reworking this that you can boil it down to that key phrase or that one tweet. And
Yeah.
I think at the end of the day, people, it's a busy world and it's getting busier by the minute. We don't have time to read a 400-page thesis on something that at the end of the day is highly academic and not very useful outside of academic circles. It's nice to
Yeah.
have these academic discussions. I love them. But at the end of the day, I want to see progress happening. And I
Mm-hmm.
think part of innovation has to do with the ability to realize that you don't know everything. And you're going to
Yeah.
have to start working together and simplifying and re-strategizing. And like I said,
Mm-hmm.
if it goes back to, if you've got a business plan, throw it out. If you don't have a business plan, write one and then throw it out.
Yeah. I fully agree with that. And, the classic old, 150,000 Rand startup capital and a 32-page business plan. That's a standard thing that everybody kind of gets issued with every government, small, enterprise organization here. It's just so much nonsense. Firstly, we ask people to start their business without startup capital. We do the 3F model. We ask people to bootstrap for as long as they can and only take loans out for things that like are assets that are going to make money. If you're loaning money to waste money, because you can't loan money to pay income and staff and coffee and tea and rent, because that's not earning stuff, but loan money to buy an asset that's going to make money. And run your business a little carefully and really define going back. We do this constantly. Michelle, Wonder Woman, my business partner, myself, we clashed this week because we forgot one of the principles, and we went back. We actually took a break and we went back and say, let's go back to those three things. What is the problem we're trying to solve? Who are the people? And how do we define this product? And then we got it right again. And, we need to constantly do that. So we see ourselves as experts in innovation and, strategy, but you get caught up in your own business too much. That's why it's so important to have a consultant, have a coach, have a mentor. And we pay good money for a good mentor or a coach at an international level. And we use them to come and coach us because we cannot coach ourselves. We get stuck ourselves. So how do you expect a small guy that doesn't have any experience in growing strategy to be able to do them themselves? So innovation is very difficult to do, but it's a simplistic thing once you've got somebody to hold your hand.
I like that. Now, I've been to a lot of conferences and I tend to speak at a lot of conferences too. And most people that speak on innovation, they sort of understand that innovation is important, but they have lost completely the core concept of what it's supposed to be. And so they've got these slides with a lot of writing on it, convoluted strategies or whatever, but they don't solve the real problem, is
Yeah.
actually coming back to the product and the people and the results. Now, I do want to say that you did write a book called Exploit Yourself, a masterclass in
Yes.
personal networking techniques. That's also available on em-solutions.co.za. You can also find it on Amazon if anybody's interested. And it's really cheap, actually. It's actually cheaper buying it directly from you than from Amazon. But part of innovation is, like you said, even if you're an expert, you get stuck in your own head a lot of times, or too focused on one aspect, which is why networking is so vitally important. It's because you
Absolutely.
get fresher ideas, or you get a slap on the face, or to say, hey, wake up, you are focusing too much on this part and you're neglecting the other parts.
Mm. Yeah, I think I actually wrote that book for myself. I'm a bit of an introvert, and I don't like going to rooms full of people. I don't think anybody does.
No.
You walk into a room and the only person that you sort of understand is yourself. Everyone else is a stranger, but very soon you become a stranger because you start showing all these weird behaviors that you don't notice in yourself, and all of a sudden you can't remember your name, you can't remember what you do, and someone asks you and you go, well, basically, let me just check my name tag, and I've got my business card, let me read it to you, and your brain just shuts down. So I actually sat down and I found out, well, I realized that networking has to be one of the key elements for small businesses, because you need to go out there and join a tribe and build a tribe and get other people on board, because marketing is building profitable relationships and networking is building those relationships. So networking is your marketing and stuff. So I started to research this whole thing called marketing, and I looked at, so in the book, it's a set of little mini masterclasses where we look at what it is. And ultimately it boils down to the strategy of where to stand in a networking, where to sit, what to have for breakfast, what not to eat for breakfast, to make it more effective. If you're going to an expo or a talk or a conference, what is the homework you do before to make sure you don't arrive there and starting off there? How can you be 2 days ahead of the people who are only arriving there at the same time as you? And then how to ask, how to market yourself. So I've been running networking things for the Cape Chamber for a number of years now, and kind of known as the master networker. And I use these strategies and I teach these. And well, and there's a whole lot of ways to get somebody to say yes. If you look at the kind of hormone level, I can induce a friendly environment by inducing the certain types of hormones in people by doing certain types of things. It doesn't have to be anything intimate, but if I want people to hate me, it's very simple. I go in there and induce that fear. But on the other hand, I want people to agree with me, then I can go there. And it's the handshake, and it's the touch, it's this, and it's the interest, and it's the, and psychologically and physically you react to that, therefore you can become. So these are the secret sources of marketing yourself at networking things. So it's a really good read. I actually grab it and reread it because some of the stuff I can't remember. If I'm going to a large event like I am this week, I can go back and pull that out like I did this morning. I'm going like, hang on, I'm going to a conference. I've got like 200 strangers that I'm meeting tomorrow. Just brush up on that masterclass that I wrote a number of years ago, and going like, now I've got a plan. And now already this morning, I've scoped out the venue, I've scoped out the people, I've got a list of 5 guys that I want to speak to tomorrow afternoon. Evening, we got a cocktail party tomorrow afternoon. I know exactly what my strategy is, who I'm going in there with laser precision to go after.
I love that, because I also I teach 4 keys to innovation in some of my workshops, and one of the keys is networking. If we want to be an innovative company, you need to start networking. You can't be on an island talking to no one anywhere. And I love that you said that you come in beforehand, you've scoped out the venue, you've actually researched who's coming, because a lot of times people show up to these networking events and they don't network. The entire purpose of the event is for you to get to know other people, but they will recognize someone in the crowd that they know, right? And they will gear towards that. That person,
and go stand with a friend.
Exactly. That is not why you are here.
Like, stay at home, have a braai. Yeah.
Exactly. You could have had you could have invited them for drinks or something. But now you spend money, and I know you're awkward. I know it's not always nice to go and meet new people, because it's taking energy from yourself, and you don't know if you're gonna like them or whatever. But you don't need to like them. You just need to network. You don't have to like each other to be able to work together, I think. So one of the
That's true.
games,
And, and once you learn that some simple rules on how to do it, then it becomes fun because you get over your fear because now you're focusing on the task rather than the fear. And all of a sudden you feel, oh, I forgot to be scared because it was such fun. So we also run a number of creative ways. So, this whole kind of everybody stand up for 15 or 20 seconds or 2 minutes, whatever it is, and share what you got to do. We just don't do that anymore. We make it a whole lot more fun. And, people, we sell out our networking things at the Game Chamber in a matter of hours because they become so popular. And people flock from literally hundreds of kilometers away to come and join us because we're having so much fun. And they go away with good business. It's not just fun. People are going away with good contacts and growing their business. And, oh, I forgot to be scared because it was so much fun. And
I
I think
love that.
it's an interesting thing. Yeah.
Exactly, because when I do my workshops, they have to be fun. It has to
Yeah.
be enjoyable. I want you to come there and think it's going to be enjoyable and leave, not just richer in business, but having new ideas to take away back.
Yeah.
And something you can actually implement right now. For World Creativity Innovation Week this year, I went to a crafts and arts place here in Swakopmund, and I spoke to the students there, and I said, you've got so much resources between you lot in skills, but you don't even realize it. So what I want you to do is network with each other. And they all laughed at me. It's like, but we already know each other. It's like, you know each other's names, but you have no idea how much you can actually benefit from each other. Right? Just because you know each other's names does not mean that you networked.
Yeah.
So then we started some exercises, and they realized, and by the end of that hour, they actually started a small business, a craft business.
Yeah, brilliant. Oh, wow.
Because like this one is a designer, this one can do the crafts, and this one can do this, and this one is brilliant at marketing. And then by the end of it, 4 or 5 people just grouped together and they started a new business.
Yeah. We always say one, when it comes to human energy, 1 + 1 is never equal to.
No.
It's actually, it's unfathomable. The power of networking and all that sort of stuff. So I love giving referrals. I love connecting people. It's one of my superpowers. And just finding where people can collaborate with other people, and it works. And it's absolutely brilliant just to see that, and not for my financial gain, but just for the gain of seeing the world a better place, because I connected, Mary and Joe together, and they're doing something amazing. And I go to sleep happier that day because I've been a little innovative in my creative thinking.
I tell people, if you're going to chase money, you're going to lose all value. But if you're trying to build value, people will give you money. People will line up to give you your just desserts or your well-deserved reward for what you've done. And I found that every time I've done something for free, it's come back to me. Maybe not always monetarily, but always it has come back to me. And I've always benefited from it. What are some of the difficulties that you've experienced with getting people to understand that they need to be innovative and they need to change their mindset when it comes to sales and marketing and building tomorrow with new skills rather than just the old way of thinking?
I think one of the largest, if you actually ask a group of people, what's the largest obstacle in growing a business? Everyone's going to put their hand up and say, oh, cash flow. But it's not.
Money.
It's ego. It's just ego. It's as simple as that. And there's a psychological term that they use called the rugged individual. And those are the people that kind of arrive there and say, okay, so I've got this company, it's doing fine. And if you want to coach me, you can see if it works. And, we're going like, in my earlier days, in my ignorance, I used to take it as a challenge. Now we just turn around and say, thank you very much. It's been great to meet you. You can go now. I've got other people to see. So we've been really selective in our clients, and we tell them right up front when we again, we don't sell to people, we interview clients. And when clients come for an interview to see whether we want to take them on, then we go through the process of explaining a little bit about what we do. We ask them, have you got the money to pay us? Are you committed for this process? And in doing so, we've done some research onto them. And if they make it to the interview, that's great. If they make it through the interview, then we might put an offer on the table. But other than that, we are not sitting there, because anybody with an egotistic kind of mindset or that autocratic kind of values, like, this is my way or the highway, and, I'm never wrong, and this is it. And so we want people to be humble. We want people to be willing to learn. We want people willing to take what they've got and rehash it, because that's what innovation requires. Innovation means you can't hold on to anything from the past. And even the rules, this whole thing, oh, we tried that last year, it's not going to work. Well, maybe you didn't do it right last year, and if I had that attitude, everything I tried once and didn't work and I couldn't do it again, I wouldn't have achieved anything in my life. And with that, so it's a matter of perfecting that. It's a matter of learning from your mistake. Iteration is almost the opposite of ego, because ego stops the iteration, because people think my first attempt is right. And if that's the case, we're not interested in working for you. There are plenty of other people that are still willing to work for you, and they'll probably work for you for free because they haven't understood their value that they're doing it. So go work with them. We want people who are willing to trash everything and rehash it and build it from scratch to be innovative for the future.
Ego, yes, I've experienced that myself. Everybody wants they want the quick solutions, right? And they don't want to. They don't want you to tell them you're wrong, or that they're wrong, or their level of thinking is poor and it's not getting them very far. And but everybody wants to start to the back end, with success happening and clients running in to get to work with them, and customers, standing in line, long lines out of the door, neon lights on the building, stationery with their names on it. Nobody wants to start small and then grow big. Start with no date and build up to success.
We even send people away to go read Outliers, Malcolm Gladwell's book, where you've got to do your 10,000 hours for success. If you want to be an overnight success, go do 10,000 hours, which is about 10 years of work. And that's really where we're looking with our clients now. So if you've been kind of in the industry for 10 years and you want to run your business, then we'd engage with you, because by that time, hopefully ego's been knocked out of you and you realize that there's effort involved with that. So we are definitely an Outliers type organization with that, and we are not interested in the millennial, I want everything now, show me the cheat code. People come there, where's the cheat code? No, if you hold down on the PlayStation, if you hold down X and press triangle 4 times, you get invincibility. Business doesn't work like that. There's no sword that you get and now you can slay the monster. And people grow up in that video gamification thing, and they're looking for the cheat codes. Where's the shortcut? And going like, oh, there isn't any. And what, I have to type this? Yes. I didn't do the homework. Can't you just? I said no. And think, I had a client this morning going like, well, this isn't working as fast as I thought. And I said, well, whose fault is that? Finish the work and get back to me. It's you driving this process, not me. And so, there's no shortcut to success. You've got to do the hard yards. You can't just become an athlete overnight. You've got to go train for 10 years before you're going to win any race. So go out there and do the hard yards.
I was teaching this one young man English, and after the English lessons, he passed his electrical engineering and all kinds of things. And then he comes back to me about a year later and says, it's like he can't find a job. Well, not that he couldn't find a job. He actually wanted to build a company. And I said, that's wonderful. It's like, but the banks, they're all stingy with their money. They don't want to give me any money. It's like, what do you mean? It's like, no, he applied for a loan for $2 million so he can build a business and do all those things. It's like, what? Well, okay. Oh, all right. So you've obviously run a business before, right? No, he's never run a
Mm,
business. I see. So you've obviously put in the work, and you've apprenticed, and you've risen up the ranks, and you actually know how a business runs and all kinds of things, right? You've got the context, you've got the marketing, you've got the business plan. No, he
mm,
doesn't have anything like that. So do you realize that a bank is not your personal piggy bank? Okay, it's a business. They actually want to,
yeah.
they'll invest in something if they can see a valuable return on their money. So a
Mm,
bank is not there to just shelve, to just hand out money for you. You haven't proven anything. Yes, you've got an electrical engineering degree, but they don't care about that.
yeah.
They don't care that you've got a degree. They don't care how many diplomas or doctorates or whatever you've got. They want to see, can this guy give me my money back plus interest? And you haven't proven that. So
Yeah.
you have to start small and then grow big.
Mm.
But there's no
Yeah,
cheat code.
it's that sense of entitlement, and that's the other enemy that we face with, the sense of entitlement, and that comes in two halves. It's I'm entitled to something because woe is me. You know, I was this, and you know this, and oh, this happened in my past, and there's a million excuses, and some of them are valid, okay, but you're not entitled to anything like that. The other entitled is, this is where I'm at. I'm president of this. I got this status. I'm an elected official. I'm chairman of this. Therefore, I'm entitled to, respect and money, and I can put my hand in the bank and take whatever I want and stuff. Those two sense of entitlements is the enemy of Africa. And not just here in South Africa, but I've traveled extensively through Africa and stuff, and if you look at that, the sense of entitlement is the enemy of small businesses and the enemy of Africa. Africa is in the situation where it is at the moment because of that self-entitlement from both extremes.
Absolutely. I was just talking to Andrew Tsuru earlier today about politics and leadership. And the same thing comes up. It's that self entitlement about, I've got the title now. So obviously I deserve all the money. I
Mm.
deserve all this
Yeah.
wonderful things to happen to me. It's like, no, and Rowan van Dijk as well. Uh, One of his things is that he says that leadership is not a position, it's a responsibility.
Yeah.
And you can't just. I've never. I've been an area director now in Taskmasters, and I'm now currently the division director. And I can tell you that wherever I go, no one treats me with any more or less respect than what I've earned. And it's not
Mm.
because of a title. Title doesn't get you through the door. It's your
Yeah.
personal attitude and your willingness to work with each other, and your ability to have a civil discussion rather than just a me attitude.
Yeah. Mm. Yeah, and I think that's really sad, and when you've got that sense of entitlement, willing to change, it creates such fear because you might get caught out. So you get that imposter syndrome kicking in, and then people don't want to change because, like, flip, what happens if they find out that I actually can't do my job, and now you're wanting to re-engineer my business, and there's no way, so they clamp it down. And that we often see in government places and big corporates and stuff, where we go in there with either ambassador in my office from an Africa country the other day, and we were explaining this model of innovation and entrepreneurship and the levels where you need to invest as a government. And and she turned around to me and said, Bruce, no one has ever spoken to me like this, and you've shown me what's wrong with not only my department but my whole country and the government investment into entrepreneurship and innovation. And I said, so what are we going to do about it? And it's simple, saying nothing, because we can't go shake that boat because it's going to ruffle too many feathers. I'm
Ah,
going, there we go. I was speaking to a member of our own government just a while ago, and they came to me for help. Bruce, we need help. And I said, here's the solution. This is what it is. And the guy just shook his head. He just sat there going like, ah. And I said, what's wrong? I said, I'm so sorry, I can't do that. And I'm going, why? He says, because it'll make so many other people look bad. And I'm
people
going,
will
well,
look
either you
bad.
fix it or you don't.
Yeah,
And
that's
we've
that's
got
your
to get
two
over that.
options. Those are your
Yeah.
only two options. If you want
And
to fix it, then sometimes you have to break it down and restart, like throwing out the business plan. You know, you have to
yeah,
restart. You have to
but
reboot
it's
this. This game is stuck. You have to reboot. Your
yeah.
Tokyo's
Sometimes you
aren't
got to pull the
working.
batteries out and redo. And but if you the guy who owns the batteries and you the then I can understand that. People will protect themselves because once you're thrown out of government, where do you go from there?
Yeah.
And that's the problem. So and people will protect that with everything to not be shown up in the world. So that's that's the big fight. That's why we don't work with governments as much as we should, because of that attitude of red tape and just that, and they, oh, you don't understand. Of course I do. I've worked in government departments. I've seen that. I do understand. Now I know why. I thought we fixed this, but no, it doesn't. But it's not just South Africa. It's not just Africa. Look what's
That's
happening in,
yeah. Everywhere
Israel at the
else.
moment. Look what's happening in the UK with this whole Brexit. Look what's happening in the United States. And it's same old, same old, same old. When egos and entitlement come in there, those are the enemies of innovation.
Egos, entitlement are the enemies of innovation. I like that.
That sounds like a
That's
title of a book.
it
That
does,
sounds like
doesn't it? It's
we
like
should
that's the.
co-write a
I
book.
think so as well. Yeah, we should. I'm game for that.
We'll get on the hit list of so many people. Oh,
But yeah, I think if you want to become an innovative company, if you want to actually change things for the better, you need to start getting over your own self. And
yeah,
sometimes it means doing a health check on your business. And if you come to terms with the fact that you don't know everything, and maybe your business isn't doing as well as it should or possibly could, then
mm,
yeah, hire someone that's coming in and helping you fix your business.
yeah,
But don't discount or discredit them just because you don't agree,
yeah,
because you're
mm,
getting now a third person perspective and a 360 overview of your business. So who are
mm,
you to say that their views are wrong? Because you are sometimes just too close. Like you said in the beginning, sometimes we get too close and we tend to
mm.
not see the flaws.
That's correct. Yeah. Yeah. And we get used to it. It's like a car with worn shocks. We just learn to drive with it like that. And we know that over 60 it gets a little wobble, but it goes away at 80 kilometers an hour. And we just get used to that. And that's the way we run our business. Then we go like, why is this not working? You say, because your wheels are wobbling.
You're like,
And we just we don't see that. And we just get used to the creaky doors and the blown light bulb in the alleyway. And, it's obvious for the first day. After the first week, we just know that area is dark, that door creaks, this thing doesn't work and stuff. And that's why external consultants, coaches need to be brought in on a regular basis to come get that fresh thing, to ask those unemotional things. I ask questions of people that nobody will ask, purely because they pay me to do so.
mm.
And we rip that band-aid off, and we scoop out the septicness out of the wound, because that's what's required. Everyone else says, oh, that's so sweet, oh, that's so nice, or he's just special. We're like, no, go fix this damn thing. Let's, snot clap and move on. And that's that's what we need to do. Thwop.
Fix this now.
Yeah.
Like I went to I've said this in a number of interviews now as well. I went to South Africa for a series of workshops and talks, and the deeper I got into the central of South Africa, the more the roads were damaged, the more the infrastructure was damaged, and even walking in the midtown of Johannesburg, it smelled like urine, and
Mm,
the people were there, and it was like it seemed like truly a third world country, and yet South Africa is the richest country in Africa.
mm,
It doesn't have to be. It doesn't have to look like that. It doesn't have
yeah.
to be that way. But at some point in time, somebody needs to say, "Hey, maybe we should stop pocketing all the money and start fixing the roads. Maybe we
Yeah.
should stop spending the money on lavish posters for re-election and these massive campaigns,
Yeah.
for
And actually
re-election."
earn the right to be re-elected. Yeah.
Yeah,
Mm,
you know, uh,
yeah.
but it comes back to ego, and like you said, ego is the number one killer of innovation. It's just
Mm,
It is
Yeah.
just so, it's so true what you've said.
Yeah. Yeah, it's interesting. We did some work for some schools and municipality in East London, and so they phoned us, they contacted us, and they organized us to fly up and stuff. And I was going, oh, flip, East London, it's just the end of the world. It's going to be why I went to Kimberley, and it was absolutely like you said. The streets are like a meter high in garbage. The whole in
Mm.
Kimberley's got more garbage in it than water, and it's just absolutely disgusting. And I thought East London was going to be the same. And with hindsight and apologies to the municipality at East London, we arrived there, and I was horrified on how beautiful it was. I kept looking out of the window on the way back from the airport, like, wow, look how clean this is. It was like, this is the way it used to be, back in the 70s and the 80s when, I last visited East London, and I was really expecting this real dump. We stayed in the convention, the International Convention Center at East London, and beautiful hotel. We were serviced great. The next day we started there with a whole group of people, and it was absolutely amazing. The flight back the next day was on time, and there was no garbage. I took a walk along the beach in the evening. I didn't feel unsafe, anything like that. And I was going like, here's an example of a municipality in a third world area of South Africa that really people don't focus on anymore because it's not an economic hub for much. And they've pulled their finger out, and chatting to the mayor and chatting to the kind of MEC guys, the MACO members, they say they've realized they've done exactly that. They said they've put the ego aside, they've put the high salary aside, and they've focused on delivery, and this is what they've done. And absolutely amazing. What a surprise that I got out of that little town.
I love that because it's exactly what you've just said. They've simplified, they've taken ego out of the equation, and they didn't start complaining. Our drawback or detriment is cash flow. Because like you
Yeah.
said, it's not a massive tourist hub or an economic boom town or whatever you want to call it. But they've managed to fix things and managed to
Yeah.
do with what they can, with what they have, and they've done a better job than most other people.
Yes, and even places here in the Western Cape that's supposed to be all the flagship of South Africa. Yeah, it's like I've told people, I said, when last did you go to East London? Look what they're doing in the schools. Like, go look at the beaches in East London. People, well, blah, blah, blah. They don't want to hear this, but it's true. And I'm going to go to Kimberley and go and see what your town could look like. Because if you think Joburg's bad, go to Kimberley. It is a scary, scary place, and I won't go back there. It's as simple as that. And I'm willing to stand on stage and say that, until they can show me that they got their act together. But I'm not going to go there, put my health at risk by drinking green water that comes out of the taps, for only 2 hours a day. It's nonsense.
And you
It's
don't have
not
to
that
do
hard
that.
to run a municipality.
It shouldn't be, yeah. Well, Bruce, thank you so much for this wonderful discussion. If you're listening to this on YouTube, if you're watching this on YouTube or listening to this on SoundCloud or Podbean or whatever it may be, leave a comment and tell me, what is it like in your business? Is the company struggling? Is it what are the pain points do you need solving? And please do connect with Bruce. You can go to the website em-solutions.co.za. There's also a lot of products. We were just talking about the masterclass and the courses, and there's also the one-page business plan that you can download from the resources. It's really it's well worth it. So by all means, please go to Bruce's website and connect with them and ask them some questions. And if you think your business needs a fresh view, a fresh pair of eyes, someone to tell you the honest truth, then make contact with Bruce and his team, and I know they will get results. This has been Imagineering with Bruce, the Batman for Business Wade, and helping you move up in life and not just on with it. Until next time. Thank you, Bruce.
Cool. Thank you very much.